No, that's fine.
That our Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge grant application has been accepted. And so we'll be talking a little bit about what was required in order to qualify to receive a grant, the context for the proposal which we have made, the history that led us to this proposal, and the plan as we presented it
How do I put this on speaker?
The Department of Ed and the Health and Human Services. And finally, at the end of the presentation, we will provide you with information about the role of community early childhood councils in carrying out this bold plan that we have for transforming our early childhood system using the Race to the Top as our vehicle. As many of you have heard me say, as in the lead up to the announcement that we had received the grant, the Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge was a very aggressive and prescriptive kind of federal grant. So the Department of Education and Health and Human Services were very specific about the kind of systems change that they were looking for in those states that were to be awarded grants. So there were 4 basic requirements that we had to address in our application. The tiered quality rating and improvement system, which of course is STARS in Kentucky, had to propose to include all programs. That means not just licensed programs, but also public sector programs. We had to show a plan for enhancing our outreach to families. We needed to incorporate a robust professional development part of the plan and expansion of the state's longitudinal data system. So those were the table stakes, so to speak, for the Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge. So what we did in Kentucky was not to change our plans in order to secure the grant, but really to build on those very strong foundations that have been established in Kentucky over more than 2 decades. So really beginning with the Kentucky Education Reform Act and the beginning of publicly funded preschool in Kentucky, and then all of those foundations that were established once the Kids Now legislation was passed in 2000, including the establishment of our STARS for Kids Now rating system for all licensed programs and certified child care homes, the establishment of the scholarship program, the professional development framework, the early childhood standards, parent guides, continuous assessment guide, all of those parts that we have been working on that we know help improve outcomes for young children. So all of those were an important foundational piece of our plan. And then, as you are also aware, we established a new business model in 2011 with the Early Childhood Advisory Council, based in part, again, on the work that we had been doing over the previous decade or more, and what we had learned in the years just before the establishment of this new model. So we believe that the 3 really key elements to making sure that every child in Kentucky comes to kindergarten ready to be successful are that children who are in early learning programs are in high-quality programs, and that has been obviously a principal strategy for us over the years. But expanding our emphasis on supporting families, because we learned in a family survey in 2011 that possibly as many as half of our children younger than age 5 in Kentucky are not in organized settings. So we felt like we needed to really expand that direct communications with families if we were going to reach all of those children who weren't coming to the now higher or high-quality early learning environments. And then the third element of our plan was to really use data sources as a way to measure our progress and to make the case for additional investment in early childhood in the future. And a key element of that, of course, is our common kindergarten entry screen. So for the last couple of years, we've had a really renewed emphasis on families and data and a somewhat different way of conceptualizing it. Again, we knew that half of all kids were not taught in organized settings, and so we needed an additional set of strategies. Some of those have included the Toyota.
Terry, please try the number again.
The Toyota Born Learning Academy. We really have increased our impact. Someone needs to mute. We really asked community early childhood councils to stretch their work in the area of community and family engagement, and have seen a lot of success in that area, which we'll share some data with you later. We are currently, or have been exploring incorporating the Strengthening Families Framework, which of course you all had a webinar on last month.
Bother you if this is on though? I don't want to.
Monthly messages directly to parents that are being shared through our partners across the state. And then we've been working to incorporate additional data into the state's longitudinal data system. Some of you call that P20, some of you call it Kentucky Center for Education and Workforce Statistics, but in any case, it's our longitudinal data system in Kentucky. So the underlying theory of change that has governed, that influenced our plan that we proposed for the Race to the Top grant was that we believe that all children deserve access to high-quality early care and education programs, and that all parents deserve to know what the quality is of the programs that they choose to leave their children in. And that if all children have the benefit of high-quality care, more children will arrive at kindergarten ready to succeed. So let's talk about what we have proposed in our Kentucky All-Stars, the name for this new initiative proposal. And let me just point out from the beginning here that it is a proposal at this point. So we have told the federal government that these are the things that we intend to do if we were fortunate enough to win a Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge grant. And we will, of course, be submitting to them a revised proposal and timeline in the coming days, and working with them to have a final agreed-upon proposal and benchmark. So while everything that we will tell you today is the truth as we know it, we also know that there are a lot of dips and turns that will happen over the next 4 years that could influence timing as well as content. So don't necessarily hold us to the letter of this presentation, but this is what our intent is. So first and foremost, our proposal includes expanding the rating system and the system of rewards for all early care and education programs. And that means public programs as well as private programs. We also propose to expand the Toyota Born Learning Academies. You may recall, and you will learn more about them in the future, but you may recall that Toyota made a 5-year commitment of about $1 million to put Born Learning Academies in 50 elementary schools across the Commonwealth. And our expansion plan will accelerate and broaden that initiative. We also propose to integrate the Strengthening Families framework across all programs that interact with families of young children. We propose to enhance professional development using the existing very high quality and responsive system of professional development that already exists in Kentucky, but to really mobilize that professional development system to help accelerate learning around a small number of high priority topics. We've also proposed to integrate the professional development registry from both public and private sector programs so that we'll have a single professional registry for all early childhood educators in the Commonwealth, and the expansion of the longitudinal system. So what was the foundation for those recommendations? This was not work that was done just in order to be able to respond to this request for proposals. This was based on a foundation that spans several years, where we began to look at how to enhance our already very progressive quality rating system for child care. So in 2011, we had an evaluation that was done by Child's Trends, contracted by the Division of Child Care. I actually referenced it a minute ago when I talked about the family survey. The survey that told us that many kids were not in organized settings was a part of that evaluation. We also did, in the Governor's Office of Early Childhood, our third-party evaluation in 2011 and 12, and took the information, the recommendations that came from that evaluation, and established the STARS work group of the Early Childhood Advisory Council. And based on all of those, we realized that there were some opportunities for us to enhance our system, which was now more than a decade old. So while we were very much on the cutting edge in terms of establishing a quality rating system, time and best practices have moved on, and there were some opportunities for us to make our system better. So some of the things that we learned from the two evaluations and the STARS work group was that we had some opportunities for enhancement. One was to really enhance family engagement, both the practices and the measurement or evaluation of family engagement. While family engagement was an element of the original quality rating system, we felt like it could be a bit more robust. We also felt like it was important for us to emphasize the quality of adult-child interaction. Recent studies have shown that that is a pretty good predictor of child outcomes, and there was not, and that is newer research and was not a part of our original quality rating system. We also felt like we needed to more tightly tie the early childhood standards to the quality rating system. So they actually had not been established and approved at the time that the STAR system was developed. So while the principles of the early childhood standards are embedded in the quality rating system, they were not specifically a tool that was mentioned in the original rating system. We also felt there was an opportunity to promote screening and assessment for children across all programs. One of the things that we felt like was a huge opportunity for enhancement was to reshape a system that is more focused on promoting continuous improvement rather than just encouraging a program or programs to to get to a certain rating and stay there. So we wanted it to be a system that encouraged people to continue to strive for higher levels of quality. And last and perhaps most importantly, we wanted it to be a system that was transparent and meaningful to parents. And that was a very important element of both our survey and our own experience in talking to parents of preschoolers, was that there was not a high level of awareness of the STARS rating system, and it wasn't regularly used as a tool for choosing programs. And then overlaying on this work that we had already been doing, there were a couple of elements that were required if you were going to be competitive in the Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge. One is that the quality rating system had to be, our proposed system had to be inclusive of Head Start, preschool, and child care, with the bottom line being that they wanted a plan, a high-quality plan for more high-needs children to be in high-quality programs. Okay. So, let's start first with the quality rating system. It is by far the most complex piece of our proposal. It is very much a work in progress. So we know kind of the basic parameters. We've outlined what we want it to be, and now we'll have to, in the coming months, fill in the specifics of it. So here is kind of a basic outline of what we've tried to accomplish in our proposal. There'll be one set of standards for all programs, public and private. So quality will be defined, and it will be progressive, so that we know that as programs rate a higher quality rating, that they are in fact higher quality programs. The new system will be 5 stars instead of 4, and licensing will get you 1 star. The indicators of quality for this one set of standards will vary by program type, just as they do now in licensed child care, where there is a separate, what we call a grid, for Type 1, Type 2, and certified child care homes. There will also be individual grids for Head Start and Early Head Start, school-based preschool programs, and for registered providers. And I might add that registered providers will be a slightly different set, and this has not been defined yet, but we're calling the measurement system for registered providers a pathway to quality. So it is not, in essence, the same rating system, but it is a way for registered providers to move toward licensing. Our proposal is that all programs will be in the expanded system by 2017. So this is not something that's going to happen tomorrow. This is actually a phased progression of programs with plenty of opportunity for public input, for piloting, for adjustment. So we will still be very much in a learning mode in the early years of implementation. We will also put in a very robust and enhanced training and technical support system aligned with the priority areas in the program, and that will include enhanced professional development along the way. We plan to establish a graduated systems of rewards that is based on the quality rating of the program. All programs will be required to display their rating in a prominent place. So it will be, in essence, just like a restaurant rating, where you will, if you go to an early care and education program, you will see the rating at the entrance. We're also proposing that all professional development for the rating system will be monitored through ECE TRIS, our professional development registry, including pre-K. So we're hoping that the pre-K system and the ECE TRIS system can be taught to speak the same language, so to speak, that we'll be able to integrate data between them, but there'll be a single system that will give us a snapshot of our early childhood workforce, which I think is very exciting. Okay, so this quality rating system is our highest priority. It's 93% of the grant funds will be consumed by the supports and the expansion of the STARS quality rating system. So we will be devoting a lot of our resources to making that change a success. In addition to the changes to the rating system, we're proposing to enhance supports for families, both through the Strengthening Families framework that you have heard about in recent months. It will be embedded in the quality rating system. All programs that work with high-risk, at-risk families will be encouraged to help build protective factors in families. And it is our hope that CECCs will be kind of the learning tables for strengthening families as it gets incorporated into programs across the Commonwealth. We'll also, as we said, are planning to expand the Toyota Born Learning Academies. So Toyota has committed to fund and onboard and support 50. We'll be adding a program coordinator in the Family Resource Youth Service Centers for Born Learning, with the goal of having Born Learning Academies in 200 elementary schools by the end of the grant. We'll continue to try to enhance our communications to parents, and we'll be looking at, with partners, developing e-tools that can help parents help their child develop optimally. On the professional development side, as I said, we'll be leveraging the current system of trainers, universities, non-university professional development opportunities, and expanding ECE TRIS. And on the data side, we plan to continue the process that we've begun 2 years ago of incorporating other early childhood data into the longitudinal data system, again, integrating the training registry across programs. We are currently working to continue to enhance the annual publication of the early childhood profiles, to expand the analysis of the kindergarten entry screen data now that we have data on all children, and we'll be looking to validate the new quality rating system as well. So what does that mean for community early childhood councils? Well, there's still many details to be filled in, as you might expect. It's a complex plan. But some of the areas where we think we'll be looking for your help in the future is helping as a partner in communities that are
good to know.
Doing Born Learning Academies. If you would, please mute your phone. Involving you in strengthening families as a convener for programs at the local level, while state agencies are working on how to incorporate those attributes into to programs at the state level. Really helping on the professional development side, as you do now, with increasing emphasis on the new early childhood standards, just recently revised. professional development in the priority areas and knowledge and awareness of the new expanded quality rating and improvement system. And all of those activities will, in a way, just enhance, just continue the trend that you all have begun in 2010 and 11 through the current. So what you see in front of you is a trend among community early childhood councils to continue to expand the family engagement emphasis in the projects that you propose to undertake and the data. So this is just the next step in our development, and we see it as part of the ongoing work that you are doing going forward. So with that, we will take questions from you all. And Amanda, do you want to jump in and give instructions for how questions? I know that there have been a lot of questions going up on the chat board while I've been talking, but do you want to give instructions for how they should do questions?
Yes, if everybody can just type their questions into the chat box, I will make sure to read them out loud and get answers from Terry, Mary Beth, and Bill as we move forward, just to make sure that we get them recorded. So the first question that we had was, will monies be used to pay for for professional development training for child care staff, and will hours be paid to that staff for the hours spent in training?
Probably this and many of the questions you're going to ask are going to be at a level of detail that's not yet determined. So, and that would be one of them. We have not said specifically how the monies will be used in terms of training, but I will tell you that there is money for professional development in our grant proposal.
Okay.
Mary Beth, do you want to add to that?
Mary Beth may be muted. I don't know if she is speaking right now or not. So, Terry, another question that we had, there are a few questions. Oh, there you are. Hey, Mary Beth.
Okay, sorry, I was trying to mute in a number of
I figured.
I just would, I think Terry answered that correctly in terms of the grant was written loosely enough. We're in this first year or so. Those types of levels of details will be worked out through the incentives for the rating system.
Now, it does seem like several of our questions are questions about the money and how it will be used. Do we want to kind of say that for most everything?
If it's at that level of detail, Amanda, I do think that we're not going to be able to answer those at this point.
Okay. So one question is, will rewards still be based on the number of children in the center on a child care contract?
Again, we haven't fleshed out the new system of rewards, but we do know it'll be tied to star rating.
Okay, here's a quick question about Born Learning. For the expansion of Born Learning in schools, will any be used for facility expansion to house additional children?
I'm not sure that I understand that question. Born Learning Academies are for families that are not specifically facility-based programs. So.
Yes, and they're usually housed in the local schools, so there shouldn't be a facility expansion for those. We will, for those of you on CECCs, we will delve a little bit further in the Toyota Born Learning Academies as the year goes on. So hopefully that will become a little bit more clear. Will the STARS be different for Head Start programs, public schools, and then licensed daycare programs?
Bill, do you want to jump in? I will intro that answer, and Mary Beth and Bill can both jump in here, but by saying that we do envision differentiated grids for each of those, just like we currently have differentiated grids for Type 1, Type 2, and certified child care homes. So the same measures of quality will be embedded, but the evidence for those may be different across programs.
This is Bill. Excuse me. Terry, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, yeah, with respect to preschool, I think it would be very similar to in terms of the indicators, right, the preschool program review process, I think would be what we would be looking at, right, for this in terms of evaluation.
Mm-hmm. And in Head Start, of course, the federal monitoring would meet a lot of the requirements of the Head Start grid as well. So you see, I think, from using those two as an example, that one of the things we tried to do for maximum efficiency and effectiveness was to look at what kind of evaluation was currently being done in each of those environments. And the STARS work group will have the task in the near term of helping to figure out which of how is that indicator of quality currently being measured for that type of program.
Okay, here's another question about the Born Learning Academy. What schools or family resource centers will have access to the Born Learning curriculum?
It will be a competitive process, just as the Toyota process is competitive. So schools will have the opportunity to apply. I see we have some young learners on with us.
Okay. Our community has limited preschool and daycare opportunities. How will these funds be used to promote additional service providers?
That really is not a component. Promoting, expanding the number of spots available was not one of the objectives of the grant.
I have a question here that says, will there be a formal application process to access these funds?
We will not be sub-grant, just to be clear. The grant money will be used for system development, so we'll not be making grants to the local level.
Okay. Some Head Starts are licensed child care, so will they be considered licensed child care for STARS?
I'm not sure that we've decided which of the two monitoring systems they'll stay in. Mary Beth, you have a thought about that?
Okay, so there are Head Starts that are licensed child care now that participate in STARS. Because of their license, they already meet the licensing requirement for the state. The alternate monitoring and evaluation system that Terry and Bill referred to would be those Head Starts that typically blend with pre-K and have their federal monitoring review processes, and those are exempt from licensure currently.
So there are two kinds of Head Starts, basically. Yes. School-based yes. Head Starts and licensed Head Starts.
Yes. Yes.
Do I understand correctly that rewards, financial incentives, will be provided to both preschool and Head Start as well as child care providers?
No, they will not.
What if multiple programs are available in one center? How would they be evaluated for the STARS rating? And would we need to post the scores for each program or center overall?
I'm not sure I understand the question in terms of multiple programs. Maybe that person could clarify.
All right.
If that's licensed programs and school-based programs in the same.
Okay.
Like a school that had a child care center in it.
Terry, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Mary Beth. It might, I'm not sure what it might mean, that there are maybe programs, let's say a preschool program in a school setting, but then when the preschool day is over, they may have a licensed after-school facility.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, the pre-K would have its star rating. This would probably be my guess, as would the licensed facility, because it's different staff, different training, different monitoring.
Okay, that's a great example.
Okay. At this point, the STARS payments are based on the number of low-income children. Will all children be included now, regardless of income?
Again, we've not worked out the details of the system of rewards, but we do envision that it will be based on the number of low-income children.
Okay. They're asking for a clarification of whether both private providers and Head Start and pre-K providers will all continue to receive reward funds.
At this time, the plan is only for licensed programs to receive rewards for the number of low-income children. Other programs will have the pride of a high star rating.
Here, this is Bill. I should add that there is no incentive. No, there is no current incentive for preschool or Head Start that I know of.
That's right, unless they're a licensed Head Start.
Correct.
Okay. Did anybody else have any last questions for the chat box? We've got a couple more coming up. In addition to children with delays in those meeting income guidelines, we serve the typical students on a tuition basis, public preschool. If we are being rated through STARS, are parents going to understand that there is a difference between child care centers and a preschool program in the school setting with certified IECE teachers? I guess I'm just a little concerned that the programs will appear equivalent to parents and won't see the need to enroll with us.
Our intent is that the programs will, in fact, be equivalent if they have the same star rating. It is our hope that parents will see them as the rating as meaning the same thing, whether it is a child care program or a preschool program. No one of the three settings is inherently high quality or higher quality than the other. So we have examples of very high quality programs in all of those. And we have some that maybe are not as high quality as we would like. The qualification of the classroom teacher is one indication of quality, but it is not a standalone indication of quality. So the underlying principle of the quality rating system that encompasses all programs is that parents will be able to discern quality regardless of the setting of the program they choose to place their child in.
Okay. Is there a plan to roll out the Born Learning Academies?
Yes. But I think it's probably more than you want at this moment. But the plan is that by 2017 there will be 200 total Born Learning Academies.
All right. And so for the last question, is this a piece of the $44 million grant, or will the entire grant be used for what we're talking about today?
That's the entire grant.
And I think, as you stated earlier, I believe it's about 93% is going to be going towards the STAR system. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. 93% is the big picture STAR system rollout, and that includes the enhancement of supports for preschool, for Head Start, for child care, the additional raters, the incentives, the professional development that's required. All of that is part of the rollout of a new quality rating system. So it's a big, complicated animal.
All right. It does look like we have a couple of people that are typing, just saying thanks. So people are really excited about what we've been talking about today. Just to give you guys an update about some of the stuff that we're going to be offering CECCs in the coming months, our next webinar is going to be February 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to talk about building your council's communication plan. We're going to talk about several things, not only dealing with local press, but also talking about social networking through Facebook and Twitter, so that will be a really exciting conversation. We're also going to have regional trainings where we talk about the request for application process this year. We're in the process right now of putting that schedule together, and it should be released with our next CECC newsletter, so definitely keep your eye out for that. And one of the reasons that we're going to do regional trainings for the RFA this year is because of our Ready Kid conference. So everybody needs to make sure that they're saving that date, June 16th through the 18th in Louisville. We've got a lot of really great programs that we're working on right now to get for that entire conference. So we're really excited to have everybody come up to Louisville on that day. So with that, I would like to thank Terry Tolan and Mary Beth Jackson and Bill Buchanan for taking the time today to explain to us what the Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge grant looked like. We're really excited about these next steps that are coming up, and I want to thank everybody for taking the time out this afternoon and joining us.
Thanks, everybody, for being here.